kind of like usually the first signs of motor tics, when we are suppressing some emotions in our system and we're using the body to hold back. And so as we are using the body to hold back, right, it's all happening unconsciously. We don't do this, right, with a, I think I'm going to stop myself from feeling by moving my eye. Like we're not aware that we're doing this, but we are doing this. And I think I'm glowing from the conversations because like there was so much alignment, there was so much beauty, there's so much trust, there was so much love watching mom and daughter talk about this thing with each other. Because usually when I talk about this condition with a lot of people, it's so dark and it's so difficult and it's so intense and people don't want to go there and they're always trying to hide from themselves and like, oh, emotions. You get my point? And I think you can relate to it, right? Because there's quite a bit of, shame and embarrassment associated with this condition. If we've had it for a long, long time, then it is there. It is there. And what I found really refreshing in this conversation is like how much lightness there was, how much love and how much trust there was in the process. Right. And so to me, working with clients who are at the top of their game in other aspects of their life, right? Top of their game in other aspects of their life, but are still something isn't quite right. Something isn't quite right with the movements or the body or the ticking or the twitching. Like that's who I want to work with. People that get it, not people who are just spiraling in their suffering for years. And I say that with so much compassion and love because I know that I used to just spiral in my suffering for a long time. But then I did do that. But at the same time, like I always knew and believed there was a way out of it, even though I didn't know what I was trying to get out of. I didn't really know the direction or the way to do it, but I knew that there was a way. And so I kept trusting. I had a deep trust. And that trust needs to be mobilized into doing. Trusting and just surrendering and just spiraling in the same movements and the same pattern, the same stories again and again and again and again is what? The definition of insanity? Like to expect different results if you keep doing the same things? So can we learn to let go of the same patterns? And that might start with some of the patterns in the thinking mind before the patterns in the ticking body go. So this is really interesting to see, isn't it? Maybe the outer world and the inner world are intrinsically connected in some way. And maybe actually we need to also look inwards as well as outwards. Because a lot of clients come to me and they're like, I want to stop the tic. I want to stop the tic because that's the thing that's consumed us. The feelings, the sensations, the tightness, the addiction to the movement. We've got so stuck in the physical density of the body and of life that we haven't allowed ourselves, and we're not allowing ourselves to realize, oh, there's another body inside. We could call it the mental body or the emotional body inside of us. Those bodies also need your attention and love. So can we connect now to those bodies? And as we do start connecting to those bodies, and this is the work that I do to guide you out of just the constant intensity of the physical pain that you're feeling and the addiction to the sensations, right? Instead of just playing out that cycle, can we go another level deeper and see what is that connected to? What patterning of the mind is that connected to? And how can we release the charge of the emotions in the background? When we release the charge of the emotions in the background, then the shaken up bottle that we're shaking up inside of us that feels over like so intense, right? Once we let go of the pent-up emotions more and more and more and more in a safe way, in a careful way, in a gentle way, in a loving way, with presence, with somebody that can guide you, we get to the point where that bottle is no longer shaken up and the pressure cooker that's existing within you is no longer turned up to such a high dial, such a high temperature. And so that means then the intensity and the frequency of the body tics and twitches reduce. They stop. So if you went with me on that journey for the last 6 minutes, it might be that you found something. Maybe it's stuff you've heard me speak of before. But maybe this time it's actually dropping in. You're going, yeah, actually, maybe I do. Maybe I do want to do something about this now. Maybe not. Maybe not. Because we all have many, many stories playing in our head with regards to why we can't do things. Even though there's always a way if we believe it's so. We'll find a way. The human will is stronger than anything. The force that comes through intention of a human being, right? It's so powerful. It's not just confined to spinning stories in the mind. It becomes of manifest in physical world, right? All of the stuff that we've created in this creative society comes or has come from an initial experience inside of us that's then come out into the world. So anything is possible. Anything really is truly possible. Put your mind to it, commit to it within, say, yes, I want this, and then take the first baby step towards it. Don't expect miracles overnight and then give yourself a hard time the next day thinking you haven't made it yet. That's just the mind running ahead, wanting results right now. Come on. Come on. We don't need that. We don't need that part of the mind that's impatient and isn't trusting and wants instant gratification. That part of the mind is allowed to come to rest. You're allowed to see that part of your own mind now and to know that that is just the trickery, illusionary little demon, devil on your shoulder going, it's not working for you. And then we learn once again to let that go. To let that go. And to take the baby steps. Commit to something that you want. Then take the next one small step towards it. Maybe list out all the steps that you think you need to do. Based on your current understanding of what the situation needs. And maybe you don't know all the steps right now. But you can have a best guess at some of the steps you think you might need to take. Write them down. Put them into action. Reach out. Message. Be curious. Whatever it is. And take the first baby step. What is that first baby step for you? Take the baby steps. Take the baby steps, baby. Ow. So, I'll leave it there. Peace out, friends.